Hey, Mark Wahlberg here. Check out Transformers Age of Extinction when it hits AMC theaters on June 27th. You're watching AMC Movie Talk.
Movie Talk for movie fans. I'm Crystal Kennedy, and this is the show where we bring you the day's biggest movie news, and of course, we give you insight into what it all means. Joining me, as always, is AMC Movie News Senior Editor, Mr. John Campea.
Greetings and salutations, everybody. Welcome to the best damn movie-related show on the internet, coming to you live from the Stream.TV studios here in Hollywood, California. We are so glad you decided to make us part of your day.
And we also have joining us AMC's production manager, Mr. Dennis Sen.
Thanks everyone for all the birthday wishes. My birthday is actually tomorrow, but we celebrated.
We had the party the other night.
Saturday.
Yeah.
These guys came. It was a lot of fun. I'm still recovering from it.
And we also have the director of the upcoming film, The Death of Superman Lives. What happened, Mr. John Schnepp?
Hey, what's going on? Yeah, we were all there. I think me and John left before the total drunken chaos and debauchery really began with triple, double shots, and so, you know, you'll hear it in his voice for the rest of the show.
Yeah, it's like Dennis was telling us as we got in here, and so he goes, after you guys left, things really got nuts. And I said, I don't know, man. Things looked like they were starting to get there when we went, hey,
you
listen.
were already drunk.
Yeah, you were already there, dude. Listen, once again, not juice, ladies and gentlemen.
Jack Daniels.
Hey, before we get started, I want to give a little bit of a shout out here. You know, Schnepp travels around to a lot of various Comic-Cons, and he was at the Phoenix Comic-Con the other day, and apparently a Movie Talk fan came up to him and said, hey, please give this to Campea. So I want to give a shout out to Noah Hippler, who went up to Schnepp and gave him this Gungan action figure. And he signed it for me, too. Yeah. He signed it for me. And he spelled my name wrong, J-H-O-N. But that's okay. That's okay. It's a thought that counts. So thank you very much for the Gungan Noah.
So Dennis was out partying, and I sound like the drag queen. I don't understand what happened. All right, it looks like Oscar winner Jared Leto has turned down the upcoming film Brilliance. Will Smith was originally set to star in the film about certain members of the population having superhuman powers, but left the film and was apparently to be replaced by Leto. However, according to reports, Leto declined the project after meeting with the director last week. Speculation has begun around the internet that Leto has left the project to remain available for the upcoming Marvel film Doctor Strange, which is set to begin production around the same time as Brilliance. John, what do you think about Leto walking away from Brilliance?
Well, okay, just focusing on Brilliance itself first. A little disappointed to hear about it because when the word came out that he had been selected and now they were in negotiations, I thought, you know, this is such a departure. I think, Dennis, you might have mentioned this too, that it was such a departure from everything we've ever seen Jared do, right? It was very different. And coming off an Oscar win and then selecting a film like Brilliance suddenly gave me interest and hope in the movie because you know this guy's got his pick of whatever he wants to do right now. So if he's picking Brilliance, there's got to be something really good about it, really special. So it is sad to hear that he departed. Now, I don't like going into rumors too much and wild speculation, but speculation is fun. And some people started speculating, saying, you know, along with Tom Hardy and along with Benedict Cumberbatch, the name Jared Leto has been floated around for Doctor Strange. Brilliance was supposed to start shooting early 2015. Doctor Strange is supposed to start shooting around early 2015. So now you've got a lot of people speculating that maybe the reason he suddenly, even though he was into doing the role, met with the director, now he's out, maybe he got offered Doctor Strange? I don't know. Nothing, by the way, do not run with this. This is, we're just having fun here, pure speculation. But I would be down for this Academy Award winner being Doctor Strange. He looks a little young for me, but the dude is in his 40s.
Right.
So I'd be down for it. So disappointed about the Brilliance thing. Fascinated by the Doctor Strange part about this. Dennis, how do you see this?
Well, despite the Doctor Strange speculation, I feel like if Brilliance was something that it was such a compelling script and he had a good meeting with the director, I don't think he would have passed it up, even if he was in contention for Doctor Strange. I think if it was something like, man, this is either going to be a huge hit and great for my career, or it's a role that's really meaty and something he can dive himself into, he would have taken it. But I feel like with Will Smith passing and now Jared Leto passing, I don't know about this project.
But my question is, you know, that you got to go through a process first, right? Before you go into negotiations. So clearly he went through a process. Clearly he wanted the job at some point. Right. But I don't know. Schnepp, how do you see it?
Yeah, it's a little weird. I mean, I said last week, paycheck. That's what Jared Leto saw when he got the script for Brilliance. I Speculation being what it is on the internet. I mean, we all kind of agreed when we talked about Jared Leto as Doctor Strange. It's a cool casting choice, I think. It's like along with Benedict Cumberbatch and Tom Hardy. I like Jared.
There's no going wrong with any of those three.
Yeah, I'm down with it.
To be honest with you, I like Jared Leto better than those two, just because he's a fresher face. I think he'd do a great job as Stephen Strange. So if that's the truth of the matter, is why he dropped out, then I would see that as making a lot of sense. It doesn't bode well for Brilliance, though, having two giant stars, one really big star and one on the rise star, both dropping out. I mean, it doesn't look good for that property.
Yeah, let's see. I'm going to be very interested to see how this thing develops. All right, what's next?
The weekend box office numbers are in, and Sony's Think Like a Man 2 came in at #1, making $30 million, a slight drop from the $33 million it made opening weekend by the first film. In the second spot is 22 Jump Street, taking in $29 million with How to Train Your Dragon 2, and in third, making $25 million. Rounding out the top 5 are Jersey Boys in the fourth spot, making $13 million on its opening weekend, and Disney's Maleficent also making $13 million, bringing its 4-week total up over $521 million.
Wow.
Pocket change, Disney. Dennis, any surprises with this week's box office numbers?
No major surprises, though I thought Think Like a Man 2 would have done a little bit more because it was coming off a decently successful first movie, but perhaps being in June where there's more stiff competition. There wasn't anything big opening this past weekend, though. With How to Train a Dragon 2, kind of a little surprised because it kind of goes against what we were talking about last week about it having more legs and being able to sustain like animated movies do. It dropped 50%. In the first movie, after its first weekend, only dropped 34%. So we don't know if that's going to be able to maintain, and get to the status of where the first one was. And Jersey Boys, I mean, we had talked about it before on the show. We kind of knew it wasn't going to be a big hit. And I don't think Clint Eastwood has had a big hit since Gran Torino. His last several movies.
I don't even know that Gran Torino was a big hit.
It was for its budget. It made like $140-something million for like a $30 or $40 million budget. But all the rest of the ones that he's had since then have all been...
The weird baseball one.
Yeah.
Oh, the one with Amy
Well,
Adams.
actually, that one he didn't direct.
He didn't direct that one, though.
That was, he starred in it, but he didn't direct it. But all the rest of them, like I think Hereafter and Invictus and all that stuff, like did okay.
Right. The big surprise to me, though, on this one was the first Think Like a Man movie was a really pleasant surprise to me because it just looked like a throwaway little comedy. But I actually laughed a lot watching the first one, like a lot more than I thought. I actually went and watched the first Think Like a Man 3 times in theaters. I thought it was really, really funny. And it opened to $30 million. So the first one opens with $30 million. And it's really good and has good legs and makes a pretty decent amount of money. You'd think that the second one would open a little bit bigger, but it didn't. It made less. Like it made like maybe 10% less, maybe like $3.5 million less than the original one. So not surprised it took first place. Little surprised that it only made 30. As far as How to Train Your Dragon 2, I mean, it dropped by less than 50%. It actually dropped less than 22 Jump Street did. Because I think last week it was 10 million behind 22 Jump Street. I think this week it was like 1 or 2 million behind 22 Jump Street, something like that. So it was an okay drop. But remember, this upcoming week, again, no new children's movies. So I think we're going to continue to see, like, not $50 million legs, but I think we're going to continue to see How to Train Your Dragon making between $20 and $10 million for a number of weeks still to come. So I think it'll do okay, Schnepp.
You know, the strange thing that I see is 1, 2, and 3 are all sequels.
Right.
Number 1 is number 2, number 2 is number 2, and number 3 is number 2. They're all 2.
And I haven't seen Think Like a Man 2, but I can tell you 2 of those 3 sequels are awesome.
Right. No, I can say 2 of those, and one of those 2 sequels, or 3 sequels is awesome. I haven't seen either Dragon 2 yet, but I can't wait to see Dragon 2.
So good.
Well, also, though, with Think Like a Man 2, another surprising thing is, remember, Kevin Hart is a bigger star than he was when the first one came out.
True.
Right? Yet that didn't help the box office success.
I can't help but wonder if people are starting to get a little fatigued because they are firing out Kevin Hart films at a very rapid pace, and that's probably a good move. Like, you want to strike while the iron's hot, but I wonder if people are starting to fatigue on it a little bit. I know that that's the case, and I'm a big fan of Kevin Hart, but who knows, maybe. All right, folks, we've reached that part of the show for buy and sell. Here's how this works. In front of her, Chris Lee's got a couple of other items in the world of movie news. She's going to run them down. Then Schnepp, Dennis, and I are simply going to say whether we buy it or sell it. So, Chris Lee, what do we got?
Empire magazine has released the covers of their newest issue featuring the Guardians of the Galaxy. On one cover, we see the superhero team of Star-Lord, Drax, Gamora, Rocket, and Groot. And on the other cover, we see Korath the Pursuer, Nebula, and Ronan the Accuser. Schnepp, buy or sell these Guardian covers?
I buy them. They look great. I didn't know the Kree listened to death metal. It looks like they're big fans of
the gore
death
or something.
metal. Yeah, death metal and wrestling. But no, he looks great, and I think that's a great interpretation of Kirby's drawings. Ronan the Accuser, then just melted down and then re-expanded. It still looks like Ronan the Accuser, but in a new, fresher way. I really like the look of the villains a lot. I mean, especially now that this is the first time we get a really nice chance to see them. Crispy pictures and whatnot, and of course the regular Guardians. I just love the clan, the look of this group. So.
It is so weirdly out of place and eclectic, right? Like it's exactly what it needs to be.
I'm looking forward to this more than almost any Marvel movie, which is really strange, but it's true.
Dennis.
I buy them despite them being totally photoshopped. You can tell they're all solo shots that they all put together to make like a group shot.
No way, man. They were all there.
But the reason I buy it is because a property like this, I know it's not like Marvel, some small studio, but this property is not very well known. So the more press it can get, the more chance of it succeeding, and the more chances that Marvel will take on lesser characters. And so I am hoping for a great success for this movie, and anything like this will help.
The one thing, for me, big buy. I really like the look. It's so cool seeing Djimon Hounsou as Korath there. No, but tell me if I'm wrong here, okay? Just look at that picture for a second, and I'm going to throw out something to you. Tell me how this hits you. Couldn't you, if I said to you, take that picture of Ronan the Accuser, right? If I said to you, that's actually the Joker 2099.
I can see that.
Can you see that a little bit?
Or the wrestler Sting now. It's like,
all right, what's next?
Reports are beginning to circulate that Sylvester Stallone is getting ready to bring us another Rambo film. According to the rumor, Rambo 5 would revolve around John J. Rambo taking on a Mexican cartel and is being called his version of No Country for Old Men. John, buy or sell Stallone doing Rambo 5?
Are you going to have Tommy Lee Jones in there too? Okay, look, I got two things on this. Would I like the idea of Rambo 5? You know, I was very down on the idea of Rambo 4. And Rambo 4 came out, and aside from the first one, it might have been the best of the John J. Rambo films. I mean, it was really good. I just didn't think it was as good as First Blood. I almost said True Blood. First Blood. But that being said, so I would be open to it. I really do. I don't think Stallone has slowed down one bit as far as action films go. Like, whether you love or hate the films themselves, as an action star, he fits the bill still. I mean, he's still doing it at 70 whatever years old he is. Right. He looks great. He still moves great. He does great one-liners. So I'd be in for that. So I'm going to buy the concept, but I got to sell that I think it's actually true. I don't think that these rumors going around are actually true. I don't think it's going to happen. I mean, the description of him taking on the Mexican drug cartel are at least more viable than that old description we heard about a year ago, saying he was working on Rambo 5 and it was going to be like some mystical creature that he starts hunting.
Right, I remember, like a predatory type
yeah,
of thing.
that's immortal and things like that. So it's like, what, Rambo versus the Mummy?
No way. Yeah.
So I buy the concept, but I sell that it's actually true. Dennis?
I just sell the idea of Rambo, what is this, 5, 6, whatever the hell it is. I sell it because remember when he came back with his two franchises, Rocky and Rambo, a year after each other. I actually really liked Rocky Balboa. I thought it was like a nice throwback to the old Rockies with the underdog story.
Yeah, I thought it was really nice.
And a story with his son, played by Milo from Heroes.
Right.
But I didn't like Rambo 5. I just thought it was like 4. Just all the, it was ultra violent. It had like a bunch of CG blood. Just didn't do anything for me. And it wasn't a throwback to the First Blood, because First Blood was about like a traumatized Vietnam vet coming back to America and kind of being re-traumatized because everyone rejects him and
not knowing how to reacclimate into North American society.
Exactly. Yeah. And so I thought like the Rambo 4 was going to be like that, but that's not what happened. So I just don't like the idea of it.
Shep?
I absolutely buy it, and I love the idea of Rambo 5. And what you said is why I like it. It's like First Blood, I definitely agree with you. It was a more realistic, grounded film, and it was about the outcast. Like had a lot of war issues, like the vets and whatnot. Rambo 4, just unapologetic explosion of blood and violence. I stopped counting exploding heads at 25. because I was counting. I was like, I can't believe they have arrows with exploding heads. Just liquid pulp bodies. It was one of those films that's just a violent, cathartic mess, which was so much fun to see that older, kind of smash-faced, pulpy Stallone, like, all right, I'm gonna do it, oh, you know, with all the other dudes just exploding around him. That's why I'm like, if Rambo 5 can up that a little bit, go hard R and just more exploding bodies, I'm all in. I watched it with a group of fans. We all were like, let's see Rambo 4. And we were all cheering. So it's one of those kinds of like, it's such an ape-like, total throwback to the 80s that I want that now. I would love to see it.
I still always remember that line, we're going there to make a change. You bringing guns? No. Then you ain't changing nothing.
Yeah.
All right, folks, we reached that part of the show for Mailbag. Listen, if you've got a topic or a question you'd like us to address on the show, you can email us anytime at amcmovietalk@gmail.com. Now, every day we take a couple questions from the mailbag, but I want to let you know, too, if you're watching us live, and we do the show live every day, Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, you can tweet in some questions live right now, and Chris Lee will pick out a couple of your tweets at the end of the show, and you can tweet to us at AMC Movie News. But for now, it's time for Mailbag. So, Chris Lee, what's in there?
Kevin Billings writes, greetings and salutations, sons and daughters of AMC. Love the show and watch it every day. My question is, why do people seem to forget that Jeremy Irons is playing Alfred in Batman vs. Superman? Well, at the time, the news was overshadowed by backlash regarding Gal Gadot. I feel this was pretty big because of how good and established an actor Jeremy Irons is. Then, even when the backlash died down, it was still glazed over by most fans because of rumors over which JLA members would cameo in the film. This is just something that has been bugging me and wanted to hear your thoughts. Thanks.
You are absolutely right. You are absolutely right. Because I remember, the thing is, Jeremy Irons, the announcement of Jeremy Irons being Alfred came out almost, if I'm not mistaken, almost simultaneously with the Ben Affleck as Batman, or very, very close, within a week, I think. Yeah. So it kind of got overshadowed there by itself. Then the whole, Gal Gadot thing, and then, of course, the whole Jesse Eisenberg thing, and we've just kind of forgot about it. We should not forget about this. This is a major weapon in the quiver of WB for Batman vs. Superman, getting an actor of the caliber of Jeremy Irons. This is a Hall of Fame level actor. Playing Jeremy Irons, or playing Alfred, that's incredible. I mean, really, this is great. He is still, it's Hans Gruber. I'm telling you, this dude gave Hans Gruber a run for his money as his brother in, what was it, 3?
Die Hard with a Vengeance.
Yeah, Die Hard with a Vengeance 3, which is actually my favorite Die Hard movie. Good Lord. Like, he's incredible, the voice of Scar, whatever, and he's still young enough, and if you saw him in that Three Musketeers film, he can still do some action stuff, too. So we might actually even get to see Alfred, as we move forward, actually physically do a little bit of something. I don't know that for sure, but you're right. It is a crime how much we have allowed the casting of Jeremy Irons as Alfred in this movie to be completely overlooked and forgotten, because this is a major, major move, and one of the highest quality moves. I put this on par with getting Anthony Hopkins to play Odin. I mean, really, I really do. I think it's that significant of a casting, and we forget about it. We drop the ball in it. Anyway, Schnepp, what do you think?
I think it's a great move. I mean, I've ripped on Jeremy Irons before with his Dungeons and Dragons, like, where is my dragon? Where is my dragon? Like, just screaming the whole time. But let's not forget, he is an incredible top-tier actor. Dead Ringers, there's the list is endless of all the movies that he just is insanely amazing in. So hearing him that he's going to be playing Alfred not only lets you know, hey, this is a Batman movie just as much as it is a Superman movie. It might even be more of a Batman movie because they're relaunching that character with Ben Affleck as Batman. It could be Batman-centric, and everybody else kind of rotates around his world. We don't know what the script of Batman v Superman, Dawn of Justice. Obviously, Justice is involved. So, but yeah, I totally agree. He should be like kept up in the hey, you got Jason Momoa, and don't forget about Alfred. It's not like Alfred's going to be like in a super robot body fighting people. We don't know if that's going to happen. Probably not. But it's cool to see a really good actor playing Alfred. It's Michael Caine. Who can you get to play Alfred now? Now we got someone comparable.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Dennis?
I'm going to go with the fans here. Like, I really like Jeremy Irons, but there's a reason, because he is playing Alfred. It's not like Jeremy Irons is cast to play Wonder Woman. That's something we'd be like, oh my God!
Still a better decision than Gal Gadot.
But
okay, anyway.
Look, Gal Gadot, we don't know her. The reason why there's so much buzz is because she's cast as Wonder Woman. If Gal Gadot is cast as like some no-name person, we'd be like, who cares?
Right.
But it is
true.
the character, you know. And if Alfred was some superhero in some suit, then we would be all about it. But that's the thing. It's we want to know who's playing Aquaman. We want to know who's playing Batman, Superman, all these major characters, Lex Luthor, and all that stuff. So that's the reason why it's overlooked. And I don't think it's that big of a deal, because once the movie comes out and if he shines in it, we'll give him all the proper credit.
Yeah. Oh, and this is a good point. I should have mentioned this at the top of the show. Speaking of Batman v Superman and all that kind of stuff, last week we did our AMC Versus episode, and it was Batman versus Superman. And we don't have one this week because I have a clear problem that we need to fix, because in the Batman Superman, when I first checked the day after we did our AMC Versus on Batman versus Superman, I think it was like 53% Batman, 47% Superman, right? When I checked the other day, despite the fact that the video has about 34,000 views, there were over 206,000 votes cast, and it was 99% Superman, 1% Batman.
What? Okay, so
something went screwy.
Yes.
So I'm gonna figure out what went screwy. That's why you're probably not gonna see an AMC Versus this week, because I need to get this problem fixed. Because if we can't get the voting proper, then there's no point in us doing it. So
I believe a sweaty nerd programmed a bot to keep voting for Superman.
Either a bot or some Superman fan site ran and say, hey, everybody, go vote for Superman.
Something.
I gotta figure out what the problem is, and maybe change our voting system to get that fixed. Because clearly, I'll accept whatever the result is, but clearly 99% of the people would not vote Superman over Batman. Right. So I got to get that fixed. But anyway, I just want to let you know that. Okay, on to the next mailbag question.
Christy writes, guys and gals at AMC Movie Talk, my question is regarding Guardians of the Galaxy, with director James Gunn recently confirming that Nathan Fillion will have a fun cameo in the film. Do you think we could see him wearing a lovely brown coat? It would be so great to see Mal Reynolds on screen again. Thanks, and keep up the great work.
Nope. No, I don't think they will. Would I geek out about it? Yes, but I honestly, I really don't think. Now, there were some rumors going around by people, because remember, Fillion basically confirmed at the Dallas Comic-Con that just watching the end credits, maybe I'll pop up there. And then there was some speculation going around that he's Nova. He's going to be Nova. Once again, why you should never listen to the internet. And then James Gunn had to take to his Twitter, say, look, no, he's in there. He does make a cameo. He's not Nova. And I don't think he's pulling a J.J. Abrams on us here by saying, he's not Khan. What are you talking about? I really don't believe he's Nova. But I have a feeling he might be somebody that could reappear again. Even if, nothing major, but I got a feeling it could be something that could reappear again. So I don't think we're just going to see, Captain Mal walking through the background in his brown coat. I don't think that's going to happen. I think we're probably going to see him as something else. But I don't know. Who knows? James might be planning something really fun. Dennis, what do you think?
I think it would be great if he showed up as a Malcolm Reynolds, and if the whole crew and cast of Firefly came on. I don't know if it's going to happen, but
to help the Guardians of the Galaxy.
But I'm glad that he's not Nova. I mean, I just never been a big fan of Nova. He appeared in some Spider-Man comics that I've read, and I always found him kind of be annoying. So I'm glad about that. And also, I don't want the syndrome of what happened with Idris Elba in Thor, where he played Heimdall. He was great in it, but it's a minor role, and I feel like Idris Elba was a bigger actor than that role. Like, he could have been cast as Black Panther or Luke Cage or something bigger, right? In the Marvel universe, because once you're a character, you can't be somebody else. So if they cast, let's say, Nathan Fillion hypothetically as someone like Nova, then he can't be cast as something bigger down the line. So that's what I'm worried about.
Schnepp?
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't mad at the rumor of him playing Nova. I mean, Nova's been a bunch of different characters over the years. Like, the Spider-Man that you read of Nova might not be the cool Nova that I read, so I don't know. Yeah. Is he going to be showing up wearing a brown coat? Probably not. But yeah, I'd love to. I can't wait to see what character in the Marvel universe they did cast him as, because I'm sure it's not just a throwaway like I'm a scientist with a beaker, or something. He's probably some character from the Marvel universe. But if they're saying it's not Nova, I wouldn't be mad if it was Nova or not. So
right. Okay, what's next?
Eric Tish writes, hey guys, because today is the 25th anniversary of the first Tim Burton Batman film, I'd like to know, how would you rank the 5 actors who played Batman? Adam West, Michael Keaton, Val Kilmer, George Clooney, and Christian Bale. Thanks.
Okay, well, to me, you have to break this down into 2 different categories. You have to break them down who's the best Batman and who's the best Bruce Wayne.
Yes, sir.
Because those really are 2 different personas of them. To me, and this might surprise you, my #1 best Bruce Wayne out of this group, I'm actually going to say George Clooney. I thought Clooney was a great Bruce Wayne, even though he was in a horrible Batman film. But I can say George Clooney, second best Bruce Wayne to me will be Michael Keaton. Third will be Christian Bale. Fourth will be Val Kilmer, and then last will be Adam West. As Batman, my number 1 will be Christian Bale. My number 2 will actually be Val Kilmer. For whatever reason, it just worked for me when he was in the Batsuit. Number 3 would be Michael Keaton. Number 4, George Clooney. And number 5, Adam West. So that's the way I would run it down. Schnepp, how would you run it down?
Well, one of the best Bruce Wayne moments for me in all cinematic Batman history, and it's hard for me to throw Adam West in there because he is TV
it's
Batman.
So different. Yeah, it's so different.
I discount that. I can't throw him in there because I love the old Batman, but then once they went into movies, that's not in the same universe.
It's almost not even the same character anymore.
It's totally different. But I was like, you want to get nuts? Let's get nuts. So I'm Michael Keaton, 100% all the way Bruce Wayne. And then it's a tough one. I would split it 50-50 Christian Bale, Michael Keaton. I just like those two iterations of the new all-black Batman, black outfit suit. Val Kilmer was cool as Bruce Wayne, but not kind of inert to me as Batman. He barely had any action scenes in that film. I just remember him flying up and then just throwing a batarang. That's about it. And same thing with George Clooney, that Batman and Robin. It makes me want to throw up when I think about it.
Well, sure, yes.
As all the ice skating and weird, like, I can't see because of the neon. Just very strange, weird film that'll forever go down in history as the worst Batman movie, if not one of the worst superhero films ever made.
How about worst movies ever made?
It's also a really bad film in general. So, and Schumacher, everybody, he's a good filmmaker. He just really was out of his world, out of his element, and went crazy. So,
Dennis?
I didn't split them up, but in terms of best just Batman, I have Michael Keaton, but just best Bruce Wayne, I have Christian Bale. But as a combined list, I think overall, I just go with Michael Keaton as number 1. It's close with Christian Bale. I have Christian Bale as number 2. Adam West, I threw there in 3 because at least when I think of Batman and Bruce Wayne, I actually think of Adam West. I don't think of the other two, Val Kilmer and George Clooney. So I have them at 4 and 5. Val Kilmer, I don't think he did a terrible job. He just did an okay job. Right. Kind of forgettable. And then George Clooney, I just felt like he was just George Clooney in the bat suit. So, and then of course with him as Bruce Wayne, it works because he kind of is.
He kind of is Bruce Wayne. George Clooney is Bruce Wayne. Yeah.
So that's why that kind of worked. But I don't think he even tried.
All right, folks.
Sleepwalk through it. Yeah.
Well, I said we would leave a couple minutes for some Twitter questions. We are almost out of time, but we will get a couple of your Twitter questions right now. So, Chris Lee, what's in there?
Daniel Stump wants to know, Spring Breakers is his all-time favorite movie. Is it true there may be a second one?
There may be. I don't really think. I'll be honest, I'm in the minority. I didn't like Spring Breakers. I watched it, and I was like, nah, it didn't work for me. But a lot of people love it, and I acknowledge that a lot of people love it. But have you guys heard anything different about Spring Breakers 2?
I just heard that they were thinking about making a second one.
I heard they were thinking about it, but Harmony Korine wasn't going to be involved. What a weird movie to have as your all-time favorite film, Spring Breakers. There are other movies you could watch. He's like, I've just seen Spring Breakers every day for the last year. Every day. Spring Breakers! It's like, weird, strange. I respect your decision.
All right, what's next?
Jonas Panemi wants to know, do you think the storyline of Luke Vader will be present in Episode 7 in some way, like memories or flashbacks?
Oh, it's at least going to get a mention. Yeah. I mean, the shadow of Darth Vader, ultimately the story of Star Wars is about the Skywalker family, but really if you look at the story of the Star Wars, if you want to even accept that those 3 abominations or prequels exist, that they are the story of Anakin Skywalker. So there has to be at least, I don't know that Vader shows up in Episode 7, but at least the memory of it or whatever. And the issues caused about that whole father-son thing between him and Luke, those issues will be present. I have no doubt about that. What do you guys think?
They're definitely going to mention it, Anakin or Vader or whatnot. If Lucas was doing it, they'd have the ghost, like Anakin, like hovering around in the background, just peeking and talking while they're discussing things.
I don't know how many ghost grandfathers of the Force are going to be involved. I mean, I like the idea that it is the Skywalker clan, but now it's Luke and his kids, and are they going to go evil? It's like I'm sure that's going to the next generation of Skywalkers. So,
all right, what's next?
Jack Royger wants to know if you think we will ever see a Legion of Doom movie.
Well, if you're talking about the villains of the Justice League, no, I don't think you'll see a standalone Legions of Doom movie. If you're talking about the 1980s tag team professional wrestling group, then yes, at some point we will see a Legions of Animal and Hawk. We will see a Legions of Doom movie. I don't know, what do you guys think?
I want to see the wrestling movie.
Yeah.
Legions of Doom.
I think I just want to see them in a live-action film. It doesn't have to be a standalone Legion of Doom movie. Let's just get them like fighting the Justice League in the movie called Justice League. I'll be happy. So.
Okay, what's next?
The cheer dude wants to know if we could see an Indiana Jones Fate of Atlantis movie in the future.
I think we're going to see an Indiana Jones movie in the future. I don't think it'll be with Harrison Ford. I think they're going to reboot it. Other people have different opinions on that. That's cool. It's possible. I don't think so, but it's possible. What do you guys think?
I don't think so.
I think you're going to see Rambo and the Magic Monkey before you see Indiana Jones and the Crate of Atlantis, or Rambo versus the creepy.
You know, Stallone's watching this show right now, going,
Rambo versus Cthulhu and the
Rambo
old
and the
ones,
Magic Monkey.
Yep.
Gold. Okay, last question of the day.
Christopher says, hello all, love this show, never miss it. Do you guys think there will ever be a Last Airbender reboot?
I'm not even going to answer that. You guys, Dennis, I'm going to defer this to Dennis.
I would love one because the first one was an abomination against the animated series, which is awesome.
And against nature itself.
Yes, one of the worst movies ever made. But I don't think so. I don't think so. I think if they were going to do a sequel or reboot, they would have been working on it already.
Here's my theory on the whole thing about this Last Airbender, should they reboot it thing, is that if people went to go see it opening weekend, and it just sucked and fell apart, whatever. But it made a lot of money opening weekend because people were interested and decided to go out to give it a chance. I think Disney would seriously look at rebooting it sometime within the next 5 years, maybe 5, 6, 7, 8 years. But not a lot of people. How did it do opening weekend? You know what?
It did okay.
You know what they're going to do? They're not going to do an Airbender reboot. What they are going to do is, I'm saying it right now, Korra is going to be a live-action movie.
You think
that's
so?
from the universe of Airbender, but it's separate enough from the stink bomb that Shyamalan laid out for live action that the live-action people who go to see movies don't even know what Airbender is. Once again, it's a big cartoon in the animated world and with kids and adults who are into cartoons, but that's a niche market.
And they had to change the name too because it was Avatar: The Last Airbender, and then because of James Cameron, they had to change it.
So even that had to get, so Korra I see as being a pretty cool way to extend that universe without the stink of the movie.
I agree with you, but as a fan, I like Korra, but I think The Last Airbender was so much better as an animated series, and so it's kind of disappointing that they don't continue on with that.
I did look it up. The Last Airbender on opening weekend made less than 22 Jump Street, an R-rated comedy, made on its opening weekend. It made $40 million opening weekend. So I think if the first Last Airbender had made like $70 million opening weekend, I think Disney would roll the dice. But I think since people didn't even get a chance before they found out how bad it was, they pulled the books. I don't know that they will.
Plus, it has that stink of failure.
Stink of failure. But anything, don't lose hope if you are an Airbender fan. Anything is possible. We've seen that in Hollywood. All right, folks, that'll do it for us. Thank you so much for joining us. Don't forget, lots of great films playing in AMC theaters right now. Head on over to www.amctheaters.com for your theater, showtime, and your movie ticket information. If you want an audio-only version of this episode, look in the description of this video, and you'll find links to our iTunes feed so you can subscribe to our audio-only podcast and listen to us on the way to work. And don't forget, if you haven't done so already, click on the subscribe button. Become a subscriber to our AMC Movie News YouTube channel. Take this video, become an AMC Movie News evangelist. Share this video on your Twitter, Facebook, whatever. Anything you do helps us out a lot, and we appreciate the fact that you guys watch and share us around. It's the why we're even here. I want to thank, of course, the guy sitting at the table with me. First of all, sitting to my right, the birthday guy, Mr. Dennis Zen. Dennis, where can people find you and your drunken ass online?
You guys can find me on Twitter at ThinkHero and on YouTube, ThinkHeroPro.
And I should specify, Dennis is not drunk, despite my joke around. Sitting beside him, of course, is Mr. John Schnepp. Schnepp, where can people find you online?
At Twitter and Instagram at John Schnepp, and you can go to my schneppzone.com/SupermanLives and donate to my documentary. I'm in post-production, so anything helps, guys.
And, of course, our lovely host today, Miss Chrisley Kennedy. Chrisley, where can people find you online?
You guys can find me on Twitter and here on YouTube at the Movie Chick 2Ks. And if you find my voice, please bring it back.
And you can find me on all the various social media networks just at John Campea. Thanks a lot for joining us, guys. My name's John Campea for AMC Movie News. And until next time, bye-bye.
Hey everyone, if you like this video, click that thumbs up button and make sure to subscribe to our AMC Movie News YouTube channel. It's free and helps you stay up to date with all the latest movie news, as well as our daily AMC Movie Talk show. Also, make sure that you follow us on Facebook and Twitter to stay up to date with all of our special promotions, contests, and prize giveaways.